Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. I am excited to bring you today's special episode. This episode is going to air during February, so it's going to represent a submission in the Content Creators of Color. So y'all check that out, c4challenge.com. It's 15 dope podcasters doing their thing for the month of February, dropping an episode every day. So check that out. I have Mr. Jermaine Green. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Sean O'Connor's. Terminator.
Get to the chopper.
Get out. Okay. Yeah, man, I'm doing great, man. Appreciate you having me, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're doing big things. You're doing big things down here. You're trying to help give Portsmouth a new image. That's what I like to say.
Yeah, exactly. Rebrand the city, man. We got to rebrand it.
Yeah, man. And on one thing, okay, so let me give people a little bit of background. Mr. Green is putting on a festival, more than a concert. It's a multi-day event here in Portsmouth, Virginia. And I wanted to bring him on to kind of talk about, what that process is like, why he chose Portsmouth of all places, and talk about the lineup.
Where you want me to start?
Where did you grow up?
I grew up all around Portsmouth.
Okay. I'm Portsmouth adjacent. I grew up in Camelot.
Yeah, I grew up over there in that area too. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. Most people don't know that.
Okay.
Because I don't really claim it. I claim Portsmouth because this is where, where I grew up at. My mom met my dad in the military. Mm-hmm. And she met him in New York, and they got married. We traveled the world like military families do, and we ended up in Portsmouth, where he was from. They broke up. He moved on, and our ass got dropped off right here in Portsmouth. They ain't left since. That's how we landed in Portsmouth.
Okay.
I'm not from no particular neighborhood,
mm-hmm.
but I'm from everywhere because, growing up in the 80s was a struggle, mm-hmm. as you know. Mm-hmm. And every year we got put out. So when people ask me what part of Portsmouth you're from, it's really like a trick question, because I lived in Chesapeake townhouses. Mm-hmm. I lived in Holly Cove when Holly Cove was actually an upscale neighborhood.
Right.
Holly Cove. I lived in Cavalier Manor, mm-hmm. Academy Park, Brighton, mm-hmm. Prentice Park, Churchland. So we lived everywhere.
Yeah, all over.
With the brother, we lived everywhere. So yeah. So So I'm definitely a child of Portsmouth, Virginia. Ain't no question about that.
So what's one of your favorite memories about growing up in Portsmouth?
Man, nobody has never asked me that, brother. But I think one of my favorite memories when we first moved here is that, nobody, like I said, everybody was doing bad. But one of the memories I have, as a child, was that we would go outside and we would be out there all day, mm-hmm. and we never really had to come home for food or water because we always had water hoses. Mm-hmm. But food, see, listen, this is the part nobody talks about. But food, we had pear cheese, we had apple cheese, we had peach trees, and these trees was so plentiful every neighborhood, every city, and we was always jump the fence and grab. We used to call them crab apples
I
because
remember
crab apples,
those. Yeah, yeah. We used to
they
throw
was
them at each other.
multicolored.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, but now crab apples are called granny apples because they're
Right.
sour and they're the most expensive apples ever now.
Yeah.
And that's some of the things I remember that we would leave out and go play, and somebody always had some kind of yard where we can
Mm-hmm.
jump the fence or it was no fence, and we would just go pluck fruit and we would eat the fruit. And sometimes they taste good and sometimes they were different, but it'd take away our hunger and we kept on going, man. So that's some of the childhood memories that what I mean, that a lot of the new generation probably never experienced.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right. So, where'd you graduate from high school?
Man, this stuff is supposed to be simple questions. You know that, right? Listen, I did 4.5 years at Craddock because Craddock
Okay.
had 8th grade high school.
Oh, so you're in the original Craddock. They just tore it down. They tore it down.
Yeah, they tore it down. Yeah. They recently did. I did my half a semester at Wilson High School and graduated from Wilson.
I remember football games used to be legendary at Craddock. That field, just the whole environment, not even the game, just the whole environment.
It was never about the game.
It was like the local Super Bowl.
Hold on one second, brother.
No problem.
Yeah, well, one thing I do remember, as far as high school is that, even though Wilson and Norcom pretty much dominated my area high school,
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that it was never about the football games. It was all about the bands.
Hey, hold on. Say that one more time. Say it one more time.
It was never about the football games. Even though the football teams, Norcom and Wilson, dominated my era of high school, it was always about the bands.
Let me do this for you real quick. Real quick. All right, just a little bit. I'm sorry. Yeah, man. I grew up in Camelot and I went to Deep Creek, and my senior year, I tried everything I could to be in Norcom's band.
Yeah, listen, Norcom had a nice band, but I really believe Craddock had the best band back then.
What? That's a barbershop argument right there.
Listen, they had the best band and the prettiest women.
Oh.
Hey, listen, and maybe because I'm being biased because they had the prettiest women. They had the prettiest young women.
Right.
I say that. Yeah.
All right. So why Portsmouth? Why did you choose Portsmouth to have your festival?
Well, you know what? A lot of people ask me that question, brother. And I can easily say why not. But I mean, if you break down the dynamics of this lineup, I tell people all the time, because a lot of people don't want to support. I say, listen, this festival is success. The people that helped me put this festival together, meaning investors, we can take this anywhere in the country, and we can afford to do this anywhere. Because anytime you can afford to do a festival with all these people, we can afford to do it anyway. But truth of the matter is, even one of the investors said, let's take it to Northside Park in Norfolk. I mean, we'll do good. You don't have to worry about nothing. Let's take it to where they do the Chesapeake Jubilee at City Park. It'd be good. It's gonna do fate. And I said, no, we need to do it right here in Portsmouth, because Portsmouth is known for nothing other than violence and poor politics. That's what we're known for. That we have been branded all through the media, and it's crazy because if you look at the statistics with homicides, Norfolk got double amount of homicides than everybody. Even 4 times as many as Virginia Beach. But it's easy for us to get branded for violence, like we're the worst city in the area, because we have no economy. We lose nothing when a news station comes and covers a homicide, and they come back for a follow-up story with with the reactions. Then you come do a follow-up story with city council. Then you do a follow-up story with people marching against violence. You do all these follow-up stories and like, damn, Portsmouth is bad. They're always on the news, yada, yada, yada. And we've been poorly branded because at the end of the day, we don't take an economic beating when we all over the news because we have nothing to offer.
Right.
Most of the businesses here are small business owners. We don't have people.
You grew up during my generation, so you remember the heyday when we had like Mid City and Tower Mall.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. The Santa Claus used to come to Mid City back in the day. When we first
in
moved.
a little house, in a little Santa Claus house.
Yeah, in a little house right in the middle, and Tower Mall, Chuck E. Cheese was the goddamn spot.
Right.
And then on the other end, you had the 2 movie theaters that ran the same movies all day long. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember Chuck E. Cheese was the club at night? In the daytime, in the daytime it was Chuck E. Cheese, but at night it was the club.
Exactly. And we couldn't afford Chick-fil-A sandwiches back then because they had one right down the corner.
Bruh, okay.
Yeah, they was expensive back then.
So you ain't the only one. My mom traumatized me with Chick-fil-A when I was a kid, right? Remember Chick-fil-A and McDonald's was like on the same little corner, right?
Yeah.
She would take me and my sister to have a McDonald's. So we think we getting our McDonald's, right? And then she'd disappear for a second and come back with this white bag. And we'd be like, what's in the bag? She'd be like, nah, this for grown folks.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, and no question.
Yeah, so economically, we remember the heyday of Portsmouth.
Yeah, listen, Portsmouth used to thrive in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people used to come to Portsmouth. Portsmouth used to be a place to live. You know what I mean? Portsmouth in the 80s, when we moved, we were just getting over that struggle of racism. You know what I mean? Equal employment for Black women and for Black men, you know what I mean, and Black women. So people were still, and they was unified by force because they had one common struggle. But as the 90s rolled in, you know what I mean, minimum wage went up. A lot of people was going to college. You know what I mean? And somewhere in the 90s, man, you know what I mean, Black folks, you know what I mean, they went their separate ways. You know what I mean? It was in the 90s, like, you know, that unified thing that we had in the struggle, everybody got comfortable with their standard of living, their life, and they, you know, felt like that Black folks don't need other Black folks. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we at now in life. You know what I mean? But that's a whole nother story. It's a whole nother topic.
Right.
I just had to say that.
I appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about your lineup. And while we're talking about it, let me go ahead and show the people what we're working with here, because it is very...
Please do, brother, because I will forget some names. There's a lot of people up there. You see, we just changed it. We did some work to it this morning.
I see. All right, so everybody, Portsmouth, Virginia. It's the 420ish Festival. April 20.
No, brother. No.
The 420ish Unity Festival. Excuse me.
Yeah, without unity, we have nothing.
Exactly. Excuse me. April 23rd to the 24th. General info, 30,000 people. It's going to be a multi-day event. It opens up at 12 noon every day. And your headliner will be the City Girls. We'll have...
For now.
Okay. For now. Okay.
Yeah.
So there may be some updates.
Yeah. We're looking to add Lil Wayne.
Oh, see? You heard it here first. All right, we got Rick Ross, Gucci Man, Pliers, Redman and Method Man, Trina, Trick Daddy, Remy Ma, Mobb Deep, and Young Jock on April 23rd. On the 24th, the headliners...
The greatest reggae lineup ever probably put together for one day.
So, okay, like, my kids was all excited, right? And then I handed the phone to a friend of mine. And soon as they saw Shaggy, they was like, I'm in. Shaggy is incredible. Shaggy, Spice, Mavado, Barrington Levy, Mr. Easy, Vashon,
Bling,
Sleepy, Native Dread, Mad Lion. So do you remember going to shows at the Boathouse?
Yeah, I've been to the Boathouse one time, brother. I went one time.
Oh, the Boathouse was known
The
for their
boat, the
reggae.
boathouse, the boathouse featured all dance, all reggae, man.
It was
In
either
the 90s.
all reggae or underground hip hop. It was nothing else.
Yeah, that's true. But reggae was definitely that. If you was a
Yeah.
reggae head, you definitely went to the Boathouse.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I am so excited to see this. Trick Daddy. Trick, bruh. Method
Listen,
Redman. I mean, just two of these artists would be great.
yeah, of course. Let me tell you what most people don't know. Method Man and Redman, they get all the attention for being the best dynamic duo.
Yeah.
In rap.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, until you see Trina and Trick Daddy together, I promise you they're gonna give Method Man and Redman a run for their money, because with both of them on stage together, hella show. Hella show. Listen, people not gonna be ready for that.
Right.
They are not gonna be ready for that. I promise they're not gonna be ready for that.
Yeah, man. So I am excited to see that coming. And so you told me why you wanted to do it here economically, right? What do you see the future of the event being?
Man,
and hold on, let me hit you. I'm gonna hit you with two sides to that question. The second of that is, how would you like to see this event influence the city of Portsmouth?
well, first and foremost, man, I really believe that a festival of this magnitude will boost the morale of the city.
Mm-hmm.
But it can't boost the morale of the city if the city don't come. Now, granted, it's going to be a lot of people there from other cities.
Mm-hmm.
But we want Portsmouth there, because at the end of the day, Portsmouth is the place that people are scared to come to.
Mm-hmm.
So we want people from Portsmouth there. We want people from Portsmouth in there meeting new people, white and blacks. Yeah, I'm from Portsmouth. You want that. You want to interact, because people had a bad perception of people from Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's something that I definitely want to see. Now, far as impact, if this festival goes like I feel like it's going to go, first and foremost, it's gonna boost the property value before the next festival comes around. Because once we promote that the second next year, the 2023 festival is coming, before that quarter, I don't know how it works, but I'm gonna estimate that, what's that, Truxton, Brighton, and Prentice Park.
Yeah.
I truly believe that their property value will start to increase little by little.
Mm-hmm. And
right there on Portsmouth Boulevard, all that's commercial property. This is why there's empty spaces across from the area. Mm-hmm. Listen, I believe when this festival is put out there and people see it's a success, because it's not successful based on how many people are there. It's successful based on what happens at the festival and what happens after the festival.
Correct.
That's how we're gonna determine this festival is successful. But I believe we're gonna make this happen. And I also believe that companies and businesses will take note of this, and they will take interest in that area and start building up legitimate businesses. Outside of car washes and beauty parlors. No disrespect.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, sir. So I'm getting ready to let you go because I know your time is valuable. But
brother. Listen. You got more questions? We here.
all right.
We here. If that's all you got, we good. We good.
Well, I want to have you back too, because I want to
be
able to update the people as we go along and all that. So let me ask you this. I ask everybody that comes on the show for the first time, I always ask them this question. If a young Jermaine came to you and asked you for life advice, what would you tell him?
if a young Jermaine came and asked this Jermaine,
Mm-hmm. Like run around Tower Mall, Jermaine.
good question, brother. 'Cause I got so much advice I can give. I don't even think I can pin that down to one thing. I mean, I would probably say, take your time in life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, learn from your experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I would probably say. Take your time in life and learn from your experiences.
Awesome, awesome. Jermaine, stick around for a second after we sign off. But you guys, I want you guys to please, please check out the 420-ish Unity Festival coming to Portsmouth, Virginia, April 23rd, 24th. Um, you can't you gotta at least check it out. Check out the lineup. I know you guys are ready to see something great. I mean, look, we got the City Girls, Rick Ross, Gucci Man, Plies, Redman, Method Man, Trina, Trick Daddy, Remy Ma, Mobb Deep, Young Jock, possibly Lil Wayne, Shaggy, Spice, Movado, Barrington Levy, Mr. Easy, Vashawn, Sleepy You, Native Dread, and Mad Lion. Yo, that sounds like it's going to be incredible. Jermaine, sir, thank you for your time. Thank
No
you for
doubt,
coming
brother.
to
No,
speak with
no doubt.
us.
Anytime.
Thank you for what you're doing in the community, man, because we need that.
I appreciate that, bro.
I totally mean that. I mean, we was talking to, I was talking to Cleese the other day. We was talking about sometimes Portsmouth has an identity crisis, and brothers like you are going to help us find our way.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? I gotta add this, man, before you log up. The old Portsmouth needs to let go of that reputation of being scary and tough, because the younger generation are, they are clinging on to that reputation and trying to carry that out. So we need to let go of that old reputation and let that old Portsmouth go. We not bad, we not gangsters, we not killers. We need to let that go and let's move forward to to a new image of Portsmouth. And I've been doing that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking your time out and listening to a special edition of the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. Please do not forget to check out the C4 Collective, that's C4 Challenge, the content creators of color. It's February, it's Black History Month. You might find you a new favorite podcast. Mr. Green, sir, thank you for taking your time today. We are out. Peace.